Hi everyone. My name is Sue. Welcome back to our live stream. I'm so sorry if you joined us on the first one. This is take two for Tuesday at 2 on the 16th of September. The very first one we had kept having error messages from YouTube popping up saying we weren't live, and it was lagging for everyone. So I apologize if you're watching that stream. I'm glad you found us. Welcome to the Scrapbook Garage YouTube channel, and welcome back to those of you that are joining us again. Thank you for staying with us and finding the new stream. We have some fun things to share with you today. We have Ashley will be joining us. She's our social media manager, and my daughter, and she helps me with navigating the whole technological world and doing our social media and our YouTube channel. So thank you, Ashley. She will be popping into the chat to share some links and things with you today as we proceed. And I'm just going to kind of share a couple things while we're waiting to see if they're live. Oh, hi, Cindy. Nice to see you. That's great. Thank you for posting in the chat. If you are joining us, please post in the chat. Tell us who you are and where you're from. We'd love to be able to connect with you and know where you're joining us from. So I apologize for the glitch a little bit earlier. It's a new channel. We're just learning how to go live and figure out all the things, as they say. So I appreciate your patience and grace as we learn to communicate. Interesting challenge and journey. Anyway, I hope everyone's had a wonderful week. I have a few really fun things to share with you today. We're going to start by inviting you to participate in the content creation for this channel. One of the ways you can do that is to fill out our Community Idea Vault Google form. So when Ashley joins us, she will pop a link into the chat for you all. It'll also be listed in the description of this video once we finish it, and we figure out how to do all of that. It'll be in the description of the video. But if you share your ideas with us, we really would love to be able to create content that speaks to you and that will resonate well. So one of the things we're asking you to do is to connect with us and share your ideas by filling out that form. You can do that once a month. You can share as many ideas as you like. You'll be entered into a draw for a store gift card. Thank you, Cindy. Sound is coming and going. That's interesting. We were just having a challenge with our video lagging, so hopefully the sound will be able to correct itself, but please let me know if you are having trouble hearing me. We've had some feedback from our last live that the sound was very low. People had to have their speakers up all the way and could still barely hear us, so we have worked with the sound settings a little bit. Hopefully it's coming through a little clearer, but if it seems to be buffering, it could be that it's just trying to catch up, or it may be the internet connection. I'm not exactly sure how that's working, but I will keep an eye on it, and I appreciate your feedback for sure. So what was I speaking? So the Community Idea Vault, if you share your ideas with us through the Google form that Ashley will post a link in the chat for, or you can find the chat in the description. It says definitely skipping. Okay, it sounds good, but the audio is still peaking. Okay, let me just see here. I'll see if I can turn down my mic just a little bit. Let me know if you can still hear me, because otherwise it's smoother for you. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Ashley. Sorry, everyone. It's a new thing, and when we go live, it's Murphy's Law. Whenever we try it on our own, it seems to work just fine, and then when we go live publicly, all the settings get messed up, and we have to readjust everything. So I appreciate your patience while we figure that out. Ashley's saying it's smoother for her. Hopefully that's true for Cindy as well. And otherwise you can hear, that's good. Hopefully the sound quality is a little bit better. Where every week we seem to be getting things tweaked just a little bit more, so hopefully in the not too foreseeable future it will be seamless and everything will come through the way that it's intending, but in the meantime we appreciate your patience. So please do, if there's anything else that comes up, please pop it into the chat. We are watching. Ashley's also helping me navigate the chat today, so we'd just really love to hear your feedback and know where you are from. Let me try adjusting the volume on the mic. It's at 100%. 50%, Ashley, so hopefully that is, maybe that's too loud, I'm not sure. How's the volume for everyone? Just if you could pop into the chat, let me know if you think it's at 50%, or is it good? Can you hear me okay? That would be helpful. Anyway, so please share your ideas. It's not buffering, it's definitely coming and going. I'm missing much of what you say. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cindy. I'm not sure if that's the same for others, so it could be. I'm not getting any notices on my end, so I'm just wondering if it could be maybe video connection. Maybe if it keeps doing that, Cindy, you could try jumping out and then coming back in and see if it still does the same. It should be lower just a bit to clear the peaking. Okay, I'll turn it down just a little bit, but then I don't want to turn it down so much that people can't hear me either. So I'll go out and come back. Yeah, that would be great, Cindy. Let's give that a try. I appreciate you brainstorming with us too. Yeah, Ashley's saying try refreshing. You could try that as well. Okay, let's give it a try. It's smooth for Ashley. Okay, that's good. That's good. On my end, everything looks better than it did on the first try. So I'm just going to go with it and see how it goes. If we have to re-record, we will re-record it and we'll post it as a recorded video to our YouTube channel. But hopefully everything will come through no problem and you'll be able to hear and see everything that we're doing. So if anything comes up, pop it in the chat, and Ashley and I will both keep an eye on the chat so that we can see and make sure, do the best we can to make it through, come through easily for you. Okay, so today is September 16th, so we're sharing some information about, oh good, that's good, Cindy, that's great, you're back, yay, thank you for coming back. And I appreciate you you sharing if it starts to lag again for you. So we'll see, let's just jump in and we'll try it. So I'm going to jump right in. So today I'm going to be sharing some fun and festive DIY treat box candy pocket idea that you can use for Halloween. I'll show you a few that I've made for Halloween, and then we will craft together to make one for Christmas, and we're going to be using the new Vicki Boutin Mistletoe and Memories collection to make a couple more. So every week, if you joined us last week, that's great. You would be aware of our new download that's connected to our YouTube channel. So each week that we share a project, we're creating what we call a spark sheet, which is my workflow of how I approach developing and sharing projects and how I do my planning and things like that to be able to create projects for you or for myself. So I've shared the idea, the concept of spark in the last video, so if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the last video, and then this week I will share this week's spark sheet with you, and it'll be available for download as soon as this video is over. So we have it ready to go on our website. We always post them after the video or after the live or the weekly video, so that you can have a copy, you can print them out and create using your own products, either along with us on a replay, or you can use your own product and create in your own time. Okay, so I'm going to go. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, that's great. It says less than 25, but you can hear great. Interesting. We'll have to brainstorm that a little bit more between now and next week. Hopefully it's coming through for everyone else, and it's not peaking for anyone. So they're talking about the volume. Sorry. We're still trying to work through. This is a new channel. This is only our second live. Well, third if you count the one we tried 10 minutes ago that didn't work. But it seems to be working fine now, and everything is showing like it's coming through. So let me switch to my overhead camera. We're going to jump right in and do some creating together. So let me just switch to my overhead camera. There we go. For those of you that visited us last week and watched last week's live or on the replay, this is what this week's spark sheet looks like. So these are the projects we're going to be creating today, and I'll share them with you in just a moment. So yay! Hi Rhonda. Hi Maggie. Oh, thank you for joining me. That's really great. We're having a few little technical glitches, but we're working through them, and we're finding our way through the mud, as they say. But I'm glad you could join us. That's great. So I'm just sharing the spark sheet for this week. So this week, this is the sketch that we're working with. So I created this so that this is a 2-page spark sheet. So I'll show you the second page in a minute. This little sketch here will help us create these little pockets that we are going to, I'll show you the Halloween ones, and then we're going to create the Christmas ones together. So what the spark sheet is, if you didn't catch it on our last video, it's my workflow for how I create new projects. So I start with a sketch, and then I go to the plan, and then I assemble all my products and tools that I need. I refine how that's going to look, and then I put it together by creating, and I adhere everything in place. If you do use the spark sheet, there's always a little reminder that says we would love for you to join our Scrapbook Garage creative community and share the projects that you create using the spark sheets there. It would be really fantastic to see what you are creating. So this one has a second page because what I've done is I've given you the instructions here. So you can download this on your from our website. There's a link in the middle of our website. You'll be able to find it. I think you have to go to scrapbookgarage.ca and then click on shop. And when you get to the next website, there'll be a link in the middle of the, there will be a link in the middle of the menu bar at the top. So maybe Ashley could find a link. If you have a moment, you could find a link and just pop it into the chat. And that will give you the downloads for last week. We're trying to create a library there. So each week we'll post a new spark sheet and you'll be able to download it right from our website. And it is free. There's no cost. Anybody can download it and create what you would like to do. So here's the instructions here. There's a little image of how you would do the scoring and cutting, and then what we're going to do here to create the little cards that I'll show you in a minute. Well, actually, they're a little treat box. And then I'll share tips with you of how to make the adjustment a little bit smaller so you can make some smaller projects as well. I don't know what peaking means. Peaking means that the mic is like coming through very loud in sections where almost like too loud, and it's coming across really sharp or crisp, and then it kind of fades out a little bit. So it means that the mic isn't picking up the voice or the sound as a one monotone or even kind of, when you watch a movie and it goes really loud during the commercials and then really soft when you're watching the movie. That's kind of what peaking is, in a way. Anyway, so these are what I've created today and what I want to share with you. So these are little Halloween treat boxes with Halloween upon us. These have little openings that you can pop. Oh, look at Kit Kat, my favorite. You can pop a little chocolate bar in there to share, or you can pop in a little pack of Maynard's Fuzzy Peach. They will fit in there as well, just as a little way to dress up a little candy treat. And this taller one was the one that we're going to start with first, and it holds a larger pack of the little Twizzler candies. So you can do little pockets like this. These ones I've created using some Halloween paper that was in my stash. So I always encourage you to go back and look at what you have already to create some of the projects that we share with you. And they just have a little belly band that goes around these ones, and then I've just added a little bit of ribbon. There we go. Hi, Wendy. Yeah, I love Kit Kats too. I'm glad you found us. That's great. I'm so sorry if you tried earlier. We had a bit of a technical glitch and it wasn't streaming very well, so we had to stop and recreate a new live and start all over again. So I appreciate you all finding us. That's really wonderful. While you're at it, it would really help us if you like the video. Like, that means just find the little thumbs up thing and click the thumbs up. If you haven't already, just make sure that you subscribe as well. That really helps the channel to grow, and that really is helpful for us. So thank you. So these are the 3 little projects that I've created, and I thought it would be really fun for us to create some Christmas ones together. So I'm going to set these aside. And then what we're going to use today, I'm using 2 products today. I'm using the new Mistletoe and Memories. It worked in the end. Yes, Wendy. Yeah, that's great. We always try to do our best to persevere, right? Like, adversity is always fun. fun. Technology is very, very fun too. So we're going to use the Mistletoe and Memories, and we're going to pair it with the spark sheet so that I'll create a couple pockets with you. If you haven't seen this yet, this is Vicki Boutin's new Christmas collection for 2025. There's some beautiful papers in here. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've pulled out a couple of sheets that I really like. So we're going to use this one here, this evergreen, and it's got a checker. I don't know what this is called. What is this called? Not paisley. Not checker. I want to call it flannel shirt. How's that? We'll call it flannel shirt. I'm not sure. Plaid. That's what it is. Plaid, I think. What's the difference between this one and this one? Are they both plaids? I'm not sure. If you guys know, pop it in the chat, because I'm always confused between, is this a plaid or is this a plaid, or are they both plaids? Anyway, these are the two papers that we're going to work with today to create the Christmas boxes or Christmas candy pouches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pair it with the Mistletoe and Memories. These are laser cut elements from 49 and Market. They are incredible. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. How they package these is they always have a printable on the back, so you can cut these out with your scissors or trimmer, die cut, whatever you would like to do, but there's always some fun ones on the back. And then there are pages of laser cut elements, and I'm just going to pop one of these out and show you how easy it is to take even one of these really intricate pieces, right? And you just kind of work your way around, just popping them out, and they literally pop right out. And look at how intricate that is. It's so incredible. So we're going to work with a couple of those. You'll see that there's a few popped out. So in this package, there's so many. There's like borders that you can do. I love the little chickadee bird. I don't know if that's called a chickadee or a finch or something, but it's very cute. So and you always get two kind of sheets of them. There's actually 4 if you go by 6 by 12s. But look at all the snowflakes. Like, they're incredible, and they're laser cut. No fussy cutting for those of you that don't like to fussy cut. These are fantastic. And look at this, like, it's already coming apart. I'm just going to pop this out and show you. I'll put it on a piece of white paper so that you can see how incredible. Look at the intricate. This camera doesn't do it justice either, but it is so. Can you see how intricate those are? Like, there's no way I could fussy cut that with a pair of scissors, I don't think. Anyway, they're absolutely beautiful, so we're going to work with those a little bit, and we'll create a couple festive ones. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to use them to use as stocking stuffers or other things that you can for Halloween or Christmas. Either way, they'll be a very good little project to and they come together so quickly. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing in my We Are Memory Keepers trim and scoreboard here. So, and I'm going to be using the spark sheet. So what we need to do is we need to cut this piece of paper down so that it measures 7 inches tall by 8.5. So I'm going to actually cut this to 8.5 first. I always try to have the least amount of waste. So I'm going to cut that to 8.5. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to cut it to 7 inches. And the measurements and everything, the cutting guide and everything is on the spark sheet, so you can go ahead and download that. Once the live is over, we will go ahead and post that so that you will have the measurements. So then what we're going to do, we're going to line this up on the 8.5 inch side, and I'm going to score it at 3 3/4. So 3 3/4, and I'm going to score it again at 7.5. So that will give us a little tab, and then I'm going to spin this and I'm going to line it up here, and I could, if I wanted to, flip this over. The cool thing about this trimmer and scoreboard is it has this blue piece in here that allows you to have an edge to push things against when you're creating. So I'm just going to butt that against there, and I'm going to score this at 1 inch. So to quickly recap, so we cut it down to 7 by 8.5, and then on the 8.5 inch side, we scored it at 3 3/4 and 7.5, and then we're going to spin it and score it at 1 inch. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to take my scissors, right? And I'm going to, well, actually I'm going to score these, fold these all over first. So I'm going to score, fold these, just to get an idea of where we're working. And then I'm going to take my thumb and knot punch. I'm not sure if you've seen this before. This is a handy dandy tool that has a corner rounder on this side, but it has a notch punch on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle. I'm working opposite the side that has the little 1-inch flap on it. I'm going to find the middle between here and here. So to do that, I'm going to go to here, and it's 3 3/4. So, oh my goodness, my math skills. So 3 3/4, half is about 1 3/4, and then 1 7/8. So that's about the middle. I just make a little mark. And then I'm going to turn my corner and notch punch so that I can line it up with the middle here. I've marked on mine with a little pencil. I just measured the middle and marked it here so that whenever I'm lining something up, I know where the middle is on my punch. So a little tip, I just use a pencil to do that. So I'm just going to line up that notch. I'm going to put it inside, and I'm just going to push that down and give it a punch. And that creates that little thumb punch that we're going to need. Set that aside. And then what I'm going to do is on here, we want to create this to be the flap that goes under the bottom. So you can see here, can you? Let's see if I can find it. There's the seam there, the fold line, and then there's this fold line here. So we want to keep this piece, but we want to cut this piece off. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go all the way down, line this up on my trimmer here on the edge so that this is in line. I'm just going to cut down to the first score line, and then I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just do a 45 there, and then the same on the other end. I'm going to go from here to the first score line, and then I'm just going to do a 45 and stop. And we're going to make a couple of these today, so you'll be able to see again. So now we have the base of our pocket. So that's literally how quick it comes together. We're just going to fold that in half, furnish this line down. We're going to fold this piece in. This little tab gets folded in. We're going to add some suquang here, or some double-sided adhesive tape, and then we just close that up. And then you've got the pocket here on the front that you can either choose to add this way, and I think that's probably what I'll do for this one, is add it here, because I don't want this to show on the front once I put this together. It looks a little nicer if this finished edge is underneath. So we're just going to go ahead and fold those two in, right, and add some adhesive there. Yeah, gift enclosures. That's a great idea. We have a standing joke with our creative team here at the store. For you, Wendy mentions UPS. We call him the UPS truck at work. So we always say, "Oh, there's the UPS truck," and it means that it's always a pick me up. It's always happy to see him because he's always bringing us really fun things to play with. So we call him the UPS truck and the UPS driver. So yeah, but that would be a great idea to put something together just to say thank you to our delivery drivers or our postal people, postal carriers. Man, they're going through a lot the last year, so they'd love a little pick-me-up. That would be incredible. So I've just added 2 strips of suquang here. I'm just going to fold this. I'm not peeling the back yet. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. So there we go, just along that edge, and add a second one right here. So that's good. Just give that a bit of a burnish. And then I'm going to go ahead and peel all of these because we will be able to close this up all at the same time. So I'll go ahead and peel all those off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this down and adhere this one first, and then when I close this one, I'm going to use the top of my trimmer to get the other one straight. And forgive me if I'm off because I don't want to get my head in the way of the camera. So I'm just going to kind of push that up against there and let it fall, and then go ahead and burnish that all the way down. So that should create, see how that creates a nice edge there? It's like exactly in line with the folded edge. If I was to just close it, it may not end up as straight as that. So I just use the top of my trimmer to do that, and then I'll come back in with my bone folder, and I'm going to move this out of the way. If I am to push this down, sometimes you'll pick up the grooves as it goes across. So I'm just going to set this aside, and I'm just going to go ahead and give that a little bit of a burnish. So that's all it takes to create a little pocket, right? And then on the originals, I'll show you what I did. We're going to embellish this one too, but I'll show you what I did to, so in this Halloween one, I wanted the inside little pouch here to match the belly band that was on it. So if I open this up, you can see that I've just cut a piece of pattern paper to fit in the top where the thumb hole will be, just to make that match. So, but this one, I kind of like the little pink showing through, so I think I'll leave that one just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the offcut, right? The pieces that are left over from the other side of the pattern paper. This is the side that we used. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to cut a piece that will be big enough for us to use for a little square there. And I know a lot of people like to measure, but you know, like I'm just not super measury person. I kind of go by eyeing things. Maybe what I will do before I do that, I'm going to bring in my little scout here, because I'm going to use that piece. What did I do with it? That piece that is on the front of the piece that's on the front of the laser cuts, this piece here on the back. I thought it would be really fun to use these frames in a fun way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my little scout, my little baby die cut machine, my little scout machine. So, and what I'll do is put this together. So this, we do need all of the die cuts. So we need the A plate, the B, and the 2 C's. So I'm just going to slide that in for a second while I bring this in. And I'm just going to rough cut. I think I want to use this green frame. I know the lighting is terrible. I'm so sorry. We're working on it. It's really, I'm working in a very tiny space right now. As most of you know, we had a house flood on July 1st. So our house is a little bit crazy, and my studio is housing a lot of boxes and things right now. So, so that doesn't leave me much space to work. So, which is a very long way to say we're working on trying to, get the YouTube channel or the YouTube filming area lighter and brighter and working properly. So in the meantime, I will do my best to share as best I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this frame, but I want to use it in a different way. So I found this die in my stash. I think it's a Spellbinders nesting label. And as you can see, it's going to fit really nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that on my platform here. I'm going to make sure that it's set up so that it will cut everything off. And I have a bit of a handshake today, so if it comes out a little crooked, we'll just embrace it because it's handmade, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one through my little die cut machine. Pops out the other side. Oh, that's great, Wendy. It's so, our UPS and postal people, they work so hard, don't they? It's so nice when you have a really great one that will help you track down things that are missing and all of the above. So there we go. So I've die cut that now. So I can set this aside. And actually, while I'm at it, because I know we're going to be doing another one as well that I'll show you how to adjust the measurements. I'm going to use this red one on the next piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and die cut that one at the same time. Just because easier do it once, as they say. We'll set this back in place. Oh, that one has to stay. There we go. We'll set this one down. I'll go ahead and die cut this one out as well. These would be really fantastic little, just little surprises for kids' teacher too. If you had like Purdy's chocolates or something that you know they really love, it would be Purdy's or Rogers chocolates or any chocolate. Any of the chocolates are really wonderful. There we go. So I'm just going to pick up my little die cut machine. I'll set that aside. There we go. So I have this one ready for next time. I'm going to set the red one aside. And then I'm going to go ahead. Now I can see approximately how far we want that to be. So I'm going to go ahead with my pencil here. Like I say, a lot of people like to measure. For me, I kind of go by, you know, planning and my eye. So I'm going to go ahead and make a little mark where I think it needs to be trimmed. And then again, somewhere in there. And I always cut it a little bigger than I need so that I can trim it down. Yeah. Oh no, Cindy, you had a flood too? Oh goodness. Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. Robin has taken a couple weeks off now so that we can get a jump on it before the rains come. So he's been doing a great job, and it's just about done. He has 2 more rooms to do, and then we're off to the races, as they say. So that's great. So this one will go there, and then this piece is going to go over top, and again, I'm going to lay it all out first, and then what I'm going to do, I think I have these 2 little laser cut pieces that I've taken from the laser cut, so maybe you can help me choose. Should we use the candles on this one, or should we use the bells? I think either one would be cute. I'll show you what they look like. So this one would look like that, and I thought that would be kind of cute to use that background of the bell, or sorry, background of this one has like one of those brass pieces, right? I don't know what that's called, a bullnose clip, is that right? And then this, when I put this over top, it kind of looks like the halo from the candle, which I thought was kind of cute. Or we could use the other one as the bells, and the bells just kind of will hide everything and keep it kind of monochromatic. So we could use the bells too. Which one do you guys think? Should we use the candles or the bells? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to pull in a couple ribbons here that we have. So we have a couple of, this is this new Spellbinders, it looks like a halo of the candle. Yeah, that it does, Rhonda. We have this new sparkly ribbon twine that we could use to put over as well. But I also brought a couple of, I was thinking this green would be a good contrast, but it doesn't quite match the green on the frame, so I think I'll save that one for later. And we also have a little bit of this twine here, which I think maybe we'll go with that. It kind of mimics the, these remind me of those beads from, like, even though they have bows on them, the beads that used to hang in the 60s in the doors to keep the flies out. All of those, that's what it reminds me of. But this might look kind of cute with a little bit of contrast there. So candles, candles. Okay, candles. Let's use candles. So we'll save the bells and we'll use that on the next one. So what I'm going to do, and you could, if you wanted to, you could ink the edges of this, but I don't know, for me, I think I'm just going to go straight. And what I'm going to do, because I want some dimension on this piece, I'm going to stick this piece straight down. So I'm just going to take a little bit of soup wang here and put it on. I'm going to move that off to the side. Oop. There we go. I have a bit of a handshake, so I'm shaking a little bit. There we go. I'll take that one off, add a little bit here. And yeah, the candles will be cute with the little halo effect, right? This is probably a little overkill with the suclang. This one's a little thicker than what I was thinking I was going to use, but we'll just put a little bit on each side. We could probably have used the little 3mm instead of the 9.5. It's like Reno mode, right? Overbuild it. There we go. That's good. So I'm just going to go ahead and peel those and make sure I get the bows the right way up. And then I'm going to actually allow a little bit of space because I want to put some trim across the top, or ribbon across the top. So I'm just going to go ahead and find the placement and then stick that down. And this lighting is a little bit dark too, hey? Can you guys all see okay? I know the colors will be off a little bit, but, you know, might have to look at that as well. So then this one I want to pop up a little bit, so I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive underneath. So these little foam squares work really well for that. And I tend to put like one in each corner. You might need a little bit more if it's going to be something handled a lot. Oh, here we go. I have a funny story about this. As most of you know, I have a mobility challenge, so I use a cane when I'm walking, and I couldn't figure out there was something texturally going on with the handle. And for like 3 days, I didn't look at it. I just noticed it. One of those things in passing you didn't know, that you don't really pay attention to. And what it was is one of these little adhesive squares somehow has become connected and attached to my cane handle, and it's just survived there. It stayed there. It's been there for 3 or 4 days now, and it still hasn't fallen off. So kudos to scrapbook adhesives for making them that thick time. Wow, I'm surprised it's still there. But anyway, so this one I'm just going to go ahead and stick straight down on top of there. And then this little candle piece I'm going to pop up again. And when I put it down this time, I'm going to make sure that I'm covering at the bottom here. I can see a little bit shining through. So I'm just going to kind of line that up like that and add some dimensional... what do you guys call these? Do you call them dimensional adhesive, or do you call them pop dots, foam squares? There's so many names. I always find that I'm tripping up a little bit when I'm trying. I keep thinking of the Stampin' Up terminology. I call them foam dots or pop dots, but lots of people call them foam adhesive. So yeah, lighting's okay. Okay, that's good. That's great. Thanks, Rhonda. Can see better than the overwash before. That's good. That's great. I've been working with the camera settings and the mic settings a little bit, so hopefully everyone can hear a little bit better as well. There was some feedback in the store, which I appreciate. Thank you. Please do share your feedback. You're helping us to learn this new way and helping us navigate all of the things. So yeah, so that's great. All the names. Yeah, that's perfect. Dimensional dots. Yeah, pop dots. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so then there's that part of our little candy pocket, and then I'm just going to take a couple lengths of this twine here, and I'm going to kind of measure. I kind of go by thirds plus a little bit, and that should probably be enough. I could wrap it around a few times, I guess, and then cut it off, but I always tend to work with a bit of a, so I'm just going to wrap this, and then I'll bring this up and tie this in a knot. There we go. And what I'm going to do here, in order to keep this all together, so I did the like overlay, that kind of first loop when we're tying something, but before I tie this in a knot, I'm actually going to wrap this underneath that side, and I'm going to wrap this side over top of the other way, so that it kind of ties those strings together, right? And then I'll pull it, and then tie a knot, and then tie a bow. And that will help it from unraveling, or, you know, when you're trying to tie something and it loosens on you, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, and let's see if I can get this on the first try. I have a bit of a handshake today, so impressive. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a victory when we can do the bows on the first try. They're not my forte. I'm not a very easy bow tire. It usually takes me a few attempts, but that one turned out not too bad. That's pretty good. So then I'm just going to go ahead and pull these two little tails together and use my scissors just to trim those off. There we go. So that gives us our little, and I would just set that right there. If I wanted this to, I can show you a little trick here. When you're working with bows and things, if you don't have a glue dot close by, I just take a little piece of my soup-wang and I kind of push it into my finger to peel the backing. And then you can kind of roll this. See, now I have the adhesive on my finger. I can just roll this over itself and create my own little glue dot. This one's a little big for what I'm doing, but you'll get the idea. And then what I can do is I want this to stick just along this top edge, so I'm just going to put it down there. I'm going to overlap this with my string, and then I'm just going to push that into place. And then, see, you can't even really see it. You can't see it from any angle, but it acts as a little anchor to hold your string in place. You can adjust it a little bit if you need to. And then we can go ahead and let's choose a sentiment to go on top of this. So let me pull these in again. These are just incredible. What I would suggest when you get them, they do tend to, like, see how they're so laser cut that they fall out really easily. Once you have the package open, I would suggest popping them all out and going from there. So we're gonna use a couple of these little sentiment pieces, which are fantastic as well. Sugar and spice make Christmas nice. The magic of the holidays. Christmas is all around. The moments we live for. A December to remember. Let's try A December to remember. We'll try that one. And we'll go ahead and we can just add that. See, that one just wants to live with it. Look at how pretty that would have been. That would have been cute too. Or down at the bottom. Yeah. The laser cuts. There's so many pieces. We could put that at the top here. We could tuck it in. We could have it as a tag. I think I like it up here though. I think that's kind of cute. What do you guys think? Should we put it at the top? Maybe we could do it on the side like that. That's kind of pretty. Or even, oh, how about that? That's cute. Not too far. Maybe we could put it just like that. That's cute. Yeah. That's great. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think that's where we'll put it there. I'm just going to take my little tweezers here. These are really fantastic. These are reverse tweezers. So when you squeeze, it opens the front. But when you let go, it holds them together. So I can do things like this where if I'm shaking too much, this will hang on to it for me until I squeeze these and then it will release it. So what that means is I can go ahead and because I think I'm going to mount this right along the top, I'm going to use some liquid adhesive this time so that I can control a little bit more what it sticks to. And again, I'm using my very well used Nouveau. The bottle looks terrible, but it's the Nouveau Deluxe adhesive, and it looks terrible because I use it all the time and I refill it a lot. So there we go. There we go. So I just added a little bit of adhesive along the top there because I don't want it to stick down. And now I'm just going to try to look over top of this to see where it's going. Try to get it straight and centered. Oops, there we go. And I'm just going to hold that in place for a moment while it sticks. And I think it's a little bit crooked still. There we go. You could mass produce quite a few. Yeah, you absolutely could. And the good thing is I'm going to show you again. We're going to make another one. So that's the first one complete. And then we could go ahead and look how cute would this be at Christmas time to put some little Twizzlers in there for your UPS driver. Look at that. It's so cute, right? And you could change this up. You could put, you know, I don't know, you could add a photo to the front and have them be placeholders at your table. You know, they could be for Christmas Eve and be filled with lots of fun things to have on Christmas Eve or share. So this one, when we created it, this one was the one that measured 7 inches, right? So let me just clean up this workspace a little bit here so that I can share with you another approach. Let's push this stuff out of the way. Try not to lose my tools in the process. If you could see, like, I'm literally working in 12.5 inches of space right now, so bear with me. There we go. Okay, trimmer this way. So this one measured, when it's finished, it measures 3 3/4, which was that first score line, but the height of it was the 6 inches plus the flap. Remember, we had a flap here, so it was the 7 inches. So with this next piece of paper, we're going to adjust that. We're going to adjust the measurements as soon as I find where I'm going here. There we go. Okay. So this green piece, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make one of the smaller ones. So if you notice, there's the first one, and then this one's the next one. So it's a little bit smaller, right? Perfect size for a Kit Kat, right? Or any of the other really amazing chocolate bars or bags of candy or other treats. So what we're going to do here is, again, we're going to cut. We need this one. So if we were originally going to do 7 inches, this time we're going to do, I think it's 5 inches for this size. Let me just double check. So that one is 4 1/4. So 5 1/4 is what we cut that one to. So we're going to cut this one at 5 1/4. Is that right? 5 1/4. Sorry. See, measure 3 times and cut once, right? There we go. Yes. 4 1/2. I'm going to make it 5 1/2. That'll be easier. So 5 1/2. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 8 1/2 because we need it to be 8 1/2. And that will be on your measurements as well, that the distances. I only gave you the one size, but if you want to, sorry, I'm just pulling in the spark sheet here. So see how it says measure by 7 inches tall by 5, 8.5 wide. If you want to make a smaller one, you change the first measurement. So I just changed that one to 5.5 instead of 7, but I'm keeping the 8.5 wide. And that actually tells you right down here. So it says to make smaller pockets, adjust the 7-inch measurement to the desired height, but keep all the other measurements the same. So that is on there on the sketch sheet for you as well. So this is the 8.5. So to continue, we're going to leave it in our trimmer this way, and we're going to the score measurements stay exactly the same. So we're going to stay at 3 3/4, and then we're going to go at 7.5, right? And let's not wiggle. Here we go. 7.5. Then and it's hard to see on this one because it is. Did we determine whether this is plaid or not? I don't know. Anyway, on this check pattern paper, and then I turned it so we were there. We did 3 3/4, 7.5. We're going to turn it. And we're going to score it at 1 inch. So go ahead and score all the way down. And then because it's probably easier to see, I'm going to turn it over. So, and actually, I think we're going to use this green side. I think that's what we're going to do this time. So that would be good. Where's the flap? The flap's on that side. Okay, so that means we're going to take our little punch, right? And we're going to, I need to mark my middle point here. So I think, oh, math again. Why didn't I write that down? 1 3/4, 1 7/8, I think is the middle, approximately. It might be off a little bit, and it probably is, but you know, I'm not mathing very well today. Let me just see here. I'm just going to fold this so I can see the center a little bit more. Yeah, I'll just adjust that a little bit. There we go. And I just put it in the notch side. Go ahead and push this down. And then it creates that little thumb punch for us. And it's, remember, that thumb punch goes on the side opposite that 1 inch flap, right? So, and then we have to go ahead and make the flap that's going to stay in. So this time I'm going to use my little guillotine. So I think it will be a little bit easier. Let me just figure this out here. It's a bit backwards on this, well, because I want to use this side, so I'm working a little bit differently. Where's that other, there it is right there. I can feel it there. So I'm going to put this in, and I'm working along that the score line here, and I'm just going to cut right down to like till I get to that first cut or first score line. I'm going to go ahead, and then I'm going to stop there, and then we're going to flip that over. See how I've cut that down and I've stopped right at that first score line? So now we take our scissors again, and we're going to cut just on an angle. Doesn't matter what the angle is, just an angle to make a tab. I'm going to do the same thing going from the side here to that corner. And then we're going to trim this off as well. And you could use your trimmer to do that if you wanted to, but it's hidden anyway. So as long as it's fairly straight, you'll be okay. And then let me set those aside. Let's set this trimmer aside, and I'll set this trimmer aside. There we go. Hopefully that won't fall. So now we've got the same pieces as we had before. So I'm just going to go ahead and burnish these. And actually I want to use the green side, so I'm going to fold it the opposite way, which will be fine too. It'll be okay. You can pick whichever side you'd like as you trim them. These would be super easy to like just sit down when you're watching a movie, or a Hallmark Christmas movie start soon, hopefully. That would be fun. And then you can just kind of create these on the fly, so that when you need one, you have them already pre-done and ready to put together. So that's going to go together just like that. I'm just going to go ahead and burnish these fold lines to make sure that they're good to go. And then same thing again. This one's a little bit opposite because I flipped it over. Remember, the first one we had these pieces were on the right hand side. This time, because I scored it this way up when I wanted to use this piece, I flipped it over, so now it's showing on the left, which is okay. And again, we're just going to add the soup wang here and here. Oh, there we go. And then I'm going to open that up and do the same here. And add that there. That's great. Thanks, Wendy. You'll be able to download the instructions. It'll go live as soon as I'm finished here, and we get the PDF to load. We've been having a little bit of trouble with that, so it'll be available as soon as we can get it onto the website. It'll be there for you. Thanks for joining us, though. I hope you have a good day. Enjoy. Too bad you have to go back to work. I know, but yeah. But we'll be on live at 2 again next week, so hopefully it'll work for you to join us again. That's great. Yeah, thanks, Cindy. Yeah, you too. Have a great week. Hopefully you come back and watch the replay and check it all out. Enjoy your walk with your dog. That's great. Now I'm going to go ahead and before I put this together, I'm going to bring my trimmer back in so I can use that top edge again. See how I just push that in? I'm going to stick this piece down first because it'll stick to what's below it. And then again, I'm just kind of rolling this up so that this piece will be glided down by there, and then I can just stick that together. And that helps us to get that as straight as we possibly can. So see on the edge, it just gets that finished edge really nicely. So I'll set this aside. And then I'm just going to come back in, burnish these edges with my bone folder. And then we're back to creating. So before, this one I think looks nice just with that little bit of greenery behind it. I don't think we really need another piece of black. Let's give it a try and see. We have 2 to choose from. We have, let's see, oh goodness. We have the black checkers, which kind of doesn't look very good. That's the same color, so that wouldn't be very good. This one we could do, but maybe not. And that one kind of disappears. So I think we just go with this one. If you wanted to do a belly band, you could too. All I did to do that is just cut a 1-inch strip. So let me see if I can show you how I would do that. And that might actually work. That might actually work well for this. So let's see. So all I did is I popped this into my trimmer and I put it at 1 inch. Just make sure that's straight. I'm going to cut a 1-inch strip off. And then if you chose to, you could put a coordinating piece of paper, and that actually might be fun. Let's try this. Let's try this. There's a little in the paper pad that always shows you what's on the other side. See how this one has this pattern and that one has this pattern? It always shows you the back side. So we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to go ahead and use this piece here. So I'm just going to cut that off, and that'll adjust my measurement a little bit on my belly band. But if we flip that over, we could do it this way and put that on like that. And then this could go around. And that doesn't look so bad. Let's try that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and glue this on to the top. If I can get my glue to go. I don't have much. Oh, there we go. Hand strength. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and add that. And I think it will look nicer if we trim this one down a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of allow a bit of a overlap. This is nice and easy because it has the lines on it to help guide us to make sure it's straight. So that's kind of helpful. And then I'm going to trim this other side just a little bit because I think it will look a little nicer. Let me just make sure that I have this straight here. I think that's fairly straight. There we go. We could save this piece because we'll use that. We can use that somewhere else. You could even put it on the top and have it be another band color, right? But I think I'm going to leave it like this. And then what I'm going to do, if I want this to be a belly band, all I did is I just popped this back into my scoreboard, and I just pushed this right up so that it's to the top. Then I'm just going to take my bone folder and just score a line here. And then again, another line on this side, wherever it ends, and that will give it, even though it's a little bit wider, you'll find that it will allow the fold will kind of take up the difference, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold that one. And this we can trim off once we put this around. So see how it was a little bit longer on one side, and I think I have to trim that first. So let me just trim this off. I'm going to wrap that around. I'm going to bring this up and put that in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some Suquang here. That's great. I'll just drop that down. Put some Suquang on the top and then go ahead and drop that. And you can trim this first if you wanted to. I find that it's the back anyways, so this little piece I'm just gonna keep. It's the back anyway, so I find that just trimming it off often is all we need. So there's the belly band added, and then we can go ahead and add this with a little bit of foam adhesive. So I'll take another couple pieces of these. I'm gonna add them over top. This time I'm gonna leave the middle open for a moment until I figure out, I'm not gonna take the back off yet. I'm gonna go ahead and figure out where we want the belly band. This time maybe we want the belly band down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I think that'll be nice. So then I can go ahead, I know it's gonna be at the bottom, so I can go ahead and add another piece to the top here. And I'll go ahead and remove the backing here. And one of the things that I'll often do, if I know it's a piece that's going to be handled, even though these little squares are very strong, as apparent by the story I shared earlier, I'm just going to go ahead and add just a dollop of glue to the back, and that will help hold them in place if I have any apprehension at all that they would fall off. I don't think they would, but it's nice to just have the confidence. So there we go. I'm just going to hold that in place for a moment, let that stick. Set things aside. And then this one we talked about using the little bells. So see how this piece, when it was in this package, where's that original? When it was in this package here, right? Just that piece. Looking at that, you may not like the image on the inside, or you question, like, how would I ever use that? Well, I encourage you to just pop out some of the laser cuts and lay them over top, because once we put the adhesive on, you would not even see that piece underneath. You know, we're covering that up all the way. And I don't know if they do that mindfully, but it always seems to work well to have, yeah, to be able to use the pieces in different ways, right? So, yeah. So this one, I'm going to glue directly down. And you could add more pop dots if you wanted to, or foam adhesive if you wanted to. And this time, I'm going to make sure that I have that in the right spot before I let go of it, just to make sure all of that background image is covered. When I'm happy with that, I'll just hold that in place. And then let's see if this matches a little better this time. Well, it does, but it doesn't really give us a lot of zhuzh, right? Or pop. Oh, that was a word we were debating in the classroom last week. Zhuzh. There's a little gold string. This one has a little gold filament in it, which might be fun too. But I'm thinking something festive, right? Something festive would be really fun. So this one, oh, we could have put it there across the back of the belly band. That would have been pretty. I wonder if we can still feed it through. Oh, look at that. Maybe. Is it gonna go? Is it gonna go? Yay, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do there, I think that's just enough of the little bit of shine. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna hold this in place approximately where I want it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little dot of adhesive here, or a couple dots. And then I'm just gonna hold that for a second so that it has a chance to adhere. I'll measure this one by pulling it over and hold that in place. There we go. And then I'm just going to give this a little trim. And again, it's on the back side, so you can be as careful or as not careful as you desire. Right? Oops, I just ripped that off, actually. And I could make another, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll make another little glue dot out of my Suquang here. Make a tiny one if I can. Just take a little piece of this and trim it off. There we go. These scissors are fantastic for that too. They don't stick at all to anything adhesive. So I'm just going to set that down, and then I'm going to pull this around, make sure it's kind of in place. Sorry, I'm probably out of frame there. Get too involved in what I'm doing and forget to look up. There we go. And that just added that extra little bit of sparkle to the front. So that's kind of pretty. That's good. And then I think I'm going to use this red again, just because I think that's really fun. So take that, I hold a length in my hand, and we'll wrap it around a few times. That should be long enough. Go ahead and trim that. Again, when I'm doing the bow, I always go a knot like the first part. So there's that first piece, and then I'm going to go ahead and put this one under and pull it to the top. And that just helps to hold all three of those strings together. And then this one is going to go from the top under to the bottom. And then I just pull that together. Now we can make a knot, and it's kind of held there for us, right? And then it's less likely to slip off because you've created, and we can still move this. So see how this still slides along. So I kind of want the bow to be on the left side, so it can still move it along, but it's not loose enough to fall off the sides, if that makes sense. And there we go. So we've got, oh, look at that. Wow, twice in a day. That's amazing. I was able to do the bow easily. There we go. That's good. Some days, you know, it comes together, and other days we just need a little patience, I guess. There we go. So again, I'm just going to pull those together, kind of guide where I want them to be trimmed, and then just come in with my scissors and trim those off. I'm working on the bottom of the frame again. Sorry guys. There we go. And then the last little thing that we have to add here is we could use one of these little tags. They're pretty big for how big that is though, but they're very cute too. So we could use one of those. I think it's a little bit big. So I think what we'll do is we'll come back in with one of these other sayings here off the laser cut sheet. And this one has bells on it. So Christmas is all around, sugar and spice, the moments we live for, enjoy the Christmas cheer. What do you think? Christmas is all around. Bells are very loud, so I'm sure that would be a good one. So there we go. And one thing about these, when you pop them out, sometimes you can see, let's see if I can get you to see it. They have like a little piece that is left over from pulling them off of the sheet. I know our cameras are not the best. We're working on that too. You can do one of two things. You can either take a sanding block and rub. What I tend to do, I just take my fingernail and push them to the back, and that seems to work no problem. So, and then once I've done that, I just run my hand down gently, and that pushes them. You don't want to get a paper cut, so be careful. And then again, we can figure out where this might want to go. And I think I like that one at the top this time. What do you guys think? Should it be the top or the bottom? You could add it just as a little flag. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that there. So I need to add my blue here. I'm just going to add a little bit in the middle because I know that's the only part that's going to touch. I'm going to move that blade out of the way. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to add it. Well, that would be cute too. I think I'll just add it on a little bit of an angle right there. There we go. Christmas is all around. And there we go. And then that is big enough, again, to hold our little Kit Kat bar. How cute is that? Fun, right? Well, I hope you've enjoyed the YouTube live. I hope you'll make a few of the little Christmas and Halloween treat boxes. Let's pull in what we've created here. I'll get these out of the way. Get this trimmer out of the way here. And I'll show you what we did. So we started with these Halloween treat boxes. There's two. There's a third one. We started with the Halloween treat boxes. You can see how those will come together really cute. Very quick, don't take a lot of paper. And then these are the two Christmas ones here that we've created as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's live. Thank you. I've enjoyed crafting with you. Kit Kat storage is perfect. Absolutely, Rhonda. And you know what? If you use the big one, you might be able to hide it all the way down in there. Will it fit in there? Let's see. Where is it? Look. Oh no, my Kit Kat. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I thought I lost it. Yeah, look at that. You could even put them all the way in and then close this. You could actually staple that closed and have it be a surprise pocket too. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the live. I've enjoyed crafting with you today. I'm looking forward to next week. Don't forget, the Spark sheets are downloadable. Let me just pull those. There's this week's Spark sheet. They're downloadable from our website, so you will be able to download those. If you do create something, please share it in our Facebook community, our Scrapbook Garage creative community. Let me just change my camera back to the front facing. There we go. Thanks, everyone. If you do use the Spark sheet to create some projects, please share them in our creative community. We'd love to see what you create, and I love to see the twists and turns on things that you see here. So make it your own, create it your own way. Again, you can make them larger or smaller, adjust the measurements as you see fit, and we'd love to see what you're creating. So if you're not on Facebook, you can also email them to us at scrapbookgarage@gmail.com, and we will share them to the community if you're not on Facebook. Don't forget, please contribute to the community idea vault. We would love to be able to create or have some idea of what you'd like to see on this channel. So and you'll be entered to win a store gift card. So please contribute if you have some ideas to share, or have some ideas of what content you'd like to see. Please fill out the form and we will enter you into the draw. If you're on Facebook and you're not a part of our Scrapbook Garage creative community, please, this is your invitation to become a part of the community. We would love to create with you. So you can send us an email, or you can find it on our Facebook, or on our on our website. All of the links will be there. Yeah, and I hope you've enjoyed today. I've enjoyed crafting with you. Thank you again for the patience and grace as we work through that technical glitch at the beginning. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. I hope you have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 2. Okay? Have a great week. Bye.